Welcome,
Hello,
welcome to Haunted Souls
hello,
Paranormal
hello.
Podcast, brought to you by Haunted Souls Paranormal.com. I've been saying that all weekend long. I totally that part of Haunted Souls. This is
Hey,
season 2, episode 19, and it is
yeah,
June 4th,
we've we've
2024.
we've made it
You're so
we've
quiet
made
over
it to
there.
June. I am. Am I
Yeah,
quiet?
we're having technical difficulties with these
It's
microphones all of a
it's
sudden.
been a it's been
Last
a
week, everybody said we sounded good.
yeah,
This week, apparently, we're not sounding good, so I don't know what's
yeah.
going on with
Well, we're
them.
working with that.
So
We're slowly getting there.
yeah, we're trying. Oh, there we go. That sounds a little better now.
There you go.
You sound a little better too now. So maybe I just had it
Now I
down
have
too
it all the way
much.
up. Do I
There
sound like
you
a
go.
podcast host?
Yeah, there you go. That sounds a little bit better. So welcome all, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hot. It is hot in this
Yeah.
building, and it is very hot.
Yes.
We got the fans blowing on us, but
I got two fans on me.
we got to get a wall built up so we can get the air conditioner in here.
Yep. That's our next project with the mansion. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I know.
we have to get a wall up.
Um, So this week, Aunt Kathy said, "Hey y'all, hey."
Hello.
Susan said, "Hey hey."
Hey, hey,
Brandon said,
hey,
"What's
hey.
up? Happy Tuesday,
What's up,
happy
Brandon?
Tuesday." Um, Gina said, "Howdy y'all, hello hello."
Hello.
Lauren said, "Made it." Lauren. Gina
Lauren. I
said,
thought you were
"Hey
coming down
Dan."
today.
Gina said, "Hey Dan, my birthday is tomorrow. Got that pink shirt yet?"
I don't know. Maybe if you start coming to some investigations and stuff, maybe.
Mal said, "Hey, what's up,
What's up,
Mal?"
Mal?
Hi. Andrew Nikki said, "Hi. Hey."
What's up, Andrew?
And Kathy said, "So do we get to see the microphone kick your ass again?"
Nope. It's securely on there this time.
It better
So
be secure because I cranked that thing.
yeah, the microphone has no problem. It's just the echoing. We had problems with the echoing and stuff.
I think we figured it out though.
Yeah, I think we got
Hopefully.
it. Yes.
I don't know. Hopefully. um, do you want to start? Did you figure out? Do you have your laws?
Yeah, I have mine. Do you
Do you
have
have your
yours?
laws? I have one of mine.
No,
Yeah,
you're just now looking up your laws. I know you are.
I have two laws.
You want to go first with your two laws then? So this is
I'll
our
go
segment
first.
that we said we're going to start doing. Um, and we might not do it every week, but we're going to do it every other maybe or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Depends on if we
But
can
there
get the
are
laws.
yeah. So it's the craziest laws in the United States and stuff.
Or
So
like weird ones or
yeah, some lady we were talking to at one of our events. She was like, "Oh, I did a paper on weird laws," and she was talking about other laws and stuff. So you want to go with your two laws?
so in Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub.
Dude, you picked my law.
Did I really?
That was my law. Okay, first of all,
Okay.
first of all,
Why does it have to be a law? That's what I want to know.
why is there a donkey sleeping in your bathtub in the first place?
But how did it become illegal? Like who sat there and was like, let's make this illegal? That is so that was my first one.
Yeah, like how in the world would what happened that there had to be a donkey? That there
Yeah.
has to be a law that say, hey, you can no longer have a donkey in
Like,
your
did
bathtub.
it become an issue that people were just letting their donkeys sleep in their bathtubs and then people were complaining? They're like, oh, we should make that a law. Like, I never understood that. I saw that and I was like, that's and then it says number 4 in Arkansas, you can't honk your horn near a sandwich shop after 9 p.m.
You can't honk your horn
Yep.
near a sandwich shop
Mm-hmm.
after 9 p.m. Does
After
it give you an
9 p.m.
illustration of why or
It says a hungry fool may be blamed for this law, but hey, most of the sandwich shops are closed in a sleepy state of Arkansas by 9 p.m. Anyways, if you do feel the urge to honk your horn after hours, you'll be disturbing the peace and you'll still be hungry. That's it. That's its little
wow?
yeah. Why?
I don't
Why?
know. That's a little
Like
weird.
yeah. Like, is there a reason? Like,
I don't know, but I had to find a different one
you had to
now
find a
because
new
you.
law. Sorry. And that was last minute too. Did you like search for that one?
Yeah, I did. So,
You know what? I literally looked up weird laws.
first one is I love this one because, it's just always happens on every porch, and it's funny it's in Colorado, but you would think this would be like Arkansas or Jefferson County where we live. In Colorado, it's illegal to keep a couch on your porch.
Oh.
It says Boulder busted the University of Colorado for burning couches, causing a law to go into effect that keeps couches and porches mutually exclusive. This law is currently active, but the verdict is still out as to whether it's actually prevented any couch bonfires. I mean, it's always
Well,
nice to have a couch on your.
you know what it probably was is a bunch of college. Like I've seen them on college porches, like in college campuses, they have the couch. People are probably just smoking cigarettes and leaving the butts in the couch, and it probably catches fire. Probably what it
and
is.
and in Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
a pickle to be legal must be able to bounce.
You said a pickle, right?
A pickle. Here's a law that puts Connecticut farmers in quite a pickle. In 1948, two men were arrested for selling pickles that were unfit for human consumption. Discussing ways to check for good pickles, officials declared that a pickle is legitimate only if it bounces. The pickles in question did not bounce, so the two men were arrested and fined, and the pickles were destroyed.
I
Eh,
like how there's a
so
story. No,
if anybody's out there, your pickles must bounce.
imagine, imagine like somebody like you're in jail and they're like, "What are you in here for?" Ah, my pickle didn't bounce. Or some officials
Your
coming up,
pickles didn't
"Hey,
bounce.
do your pickles bounce?"
Yeah.
There's
So
official. That's their job. You know that's somebody's job eventually. They have to go around these farmers and check to see. They have to just sit there and they're bouncing pickles every day.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So there's 4 laws for you to think about there if you're ever moving to Colorado, Connecticut, Arkansas,
oh
and
man.
what was your first one about the donkeys?
Uh,
Alaska?
alas, no.
Why
Yeah,
is there donkeys in Alaska too? Oh no, it was Arizona.
Arizona.
It was Arizona.
It
Yeah.
was Arizona.
Our lovely
Um,
4 states there. But we're giving away some stuff tonight.
yeah.
Um this weekend at the Strawberry Festival. We were giving away trying to get to 500 followers or subscribers, sorry, 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So we were giving away 2 event tickets if you liked and followed our Facebook page and subscribed to our
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. And I think we're
Yeah,
at, did you check it real quick and see where we're at?
I
Last time
can.
I saw, we were at 478. We were 22 away.
Um, let's see. Typing sound effects.
I mean, so we need it. I'm getting a soundboard so we can get some sound effects.
We are currently our YouTube is at 478.
Yeah, still nope. 22
Still,
away, everybody. 22 away
man,
from
we had a
500.
chance to wear 2 free tickets.
Well, we are. We are giving those away because we got a bunch of new followers
Oh,
and
that's
a
right.
bunch of new subscribers. So we are giving away tickets tonight. We will be drawing, which is
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
in this lovely Kansas City Bowl. So we will be giving those away after and discussing our lovely weekend. Well, my lovely weekend in
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Strawberry Festival and everything. And after we talk to our guests. So
Yeah. With
yeah,
that,
stick around and listen to our lovely adventures, and we'll be drawing those 2 tickets and a cup and
yeah,
maybe scrying mirror. So you got to
yeah.
stick around. Is there any
All right.
questions you want to hit before? Is there anybody came in?
Um,
Welcome any
no.
new listeners or listening from this weekend
Oh,
Strawberry Festival. Say hi.
Amelita said turkey fool.
Turkey. Oh
She's the only
man,
new one. Andrew Nikki said, where else are donkeys supposed to sleep?
True.
Hey, I
All
don't know.
right. With that, we will bring Ron on.
All righty. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
All
How are
righty.
you?
Hey, and no echo either.
I know, doesn't that sound great?
Ron
Yeah.
got to
It just
he got to witness the
It was
Beyond
fun.
the Shadows podcast go wrong episode.
No, it was fine. So I figured since you guys were doing the laws of the land, I figured I would look up two specifically for Tennessee.
There you go.
okay.
You ready? One of them
Yeah.
is
Sure.
the only animal that is legal to shoot out of a moving car through your window is a whale in the state of Tennessee.
The only
It's really on the books right there. I was like, whoa, that's weird. And then the second
the
one is
only animal you can shoot from your car.
the only animal that is legal to shoot out of a moving car via the window is a whale.
Is there a big population of whales in Tennessee, Ron?
Considering it's landlocked, I think you're going to have a hard time finding a whale, but hey, it's on the books.
I don't think ever when they see a whale in Tennessee, they're gonna go, "Oh, let me shoot that." No, they're gonna go, "What is the whale
Right.
doing here?" Oh man.
And then secondly, this one's kind of funny as well too. Sadly, the art of lassoing a fish is lost in Tennessee. It is illegal to lasso a fish.
Man, that's talent. First of all, if you can lasso a fish, that's talent. I'll just have to skip the law and just let you do it.
Well, it was
Because
kind of funny. I was like, backstage listening to you guys. I'm like, I wonder what Tennessee like weird laws have. And there's some more, but it'd take up the whole show. But I mean, I was just like
Yeah.
Googling it and do what you guys did. And I can't believe some of the laws that Tennessee has that are just like, who's going to shoot a whale out their car window?
where are they going to see a
In
whale?
Tennessee, of all places.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it
Oh
got
my
started
gosh.
originally. What it got started, Ron, was a lady talked about in Danville, Georgia. On Sundays, you can bring your wife to the courthouse steps and beat her with a stick no thicker than your pinky.
I've heard that.
And I'm
law.
like, that is crazy. So then, me and Madison were like, hey, we need to start thinking about doing this and
Oh man.
bringing up crazy laws.
Yeah,
So-
People are so good.
it's a good start to the show. I mean, it made me Google it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. And then the list of laws for Tennessee, like I said, they keep going and going and going. But the whale one really got me. I was just kind of like, whales in Tennessee. So I guess I'll share that with my friends here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you
we've
know
got
there was a
overpopulation of whales there in Tennessee?
they're just letting people shoot them.
Yeah, well, here's my thing is that they always say that there's a rule, there's something that's happened that made it a law. So who shot a whale out their window in Tennessee to say, hey, we cannot shoot whales in Tennessee outside your car,
Yeah,
outside
I
your
don't know.
window?
I've been on the Tennessee River quite a few times, and I've never seen a whale before.
Well, hey, let us know if you do. Okay.
I've
Yeah.
seen some river otters and some other things, but yeah, never a whale. So but I will let you know. So
Perfect.
the first guy to ever shoot a whale out of his window in Tennessee will be me. Now they'll know the
You
laws.
know what? There's a first
There
thing.
you
There's
go.
a first for everything. Oh,
Okay, Ron, so you want to tell everybody who you are? And Ron has a haunted location.
Oh, sure. I'm Ronnie. I'm the president of the company that owns South Pittsburg Hospital here in South Pittsburg, Tennessee, as well as Harriman Hospital, which is in Harriman, Tennessee. So yeah, I own two rather storied haunted locations here in Tennessee. South Pittsburg has been around for quite some time. I just happened to purchase it and then kind of make it a nicer location than it was prior. And then about 2 years ago, we bought the Harriman Hospital. They're about an hour and 45 minutes apart from us, or from each other. South Pittsburg Hospital is about 2 hours south of Nashville. It's about 45 minutes west of Chattanooga. And then the Harriman Hospital is about 40 minutes west of Knoxville. So they're pretty centrally located here in Tennessee.
wow.
Nice. So little history on old South Pittsburgh.
So Old South Pittsburg Hospital was born in 1958, opened in 1959. It had 3 to 4 different expansions to it. Started out as what was called the South Pittsburg Tri-City Clinic, which was primarily kind of a clinic. And then it moved up into operating rooms and such, and then eventually had everything from birthing rooms to a psych ward, to pretty much everything. It was a full service hospital here for Marion County and the surrounding counties as well too. But it was constantly being added on to. It was a community hospital, so it was kind of neat. Usually on the weekends, there's a cafeteria where most of the community would come, and they would share their stories about families and have good dinner. Apparently, the food at the hospitals back in the old days was actually really good. So it was not only like, a hospital, but it was also a community gathering place for a lot of the locals to come and kind of share their lives and experiences together. So it was a very, very tight-knit community. It unfortunately closed in 1999, primarily just because the building at 68,000 square feet was just too small. Our surgery rooms, we've only got 2 of them upstairs with 1 recovery room. And then our ER is really small. We've got a 2-bed ER with 2 private rooms. So you can imagine, in Tennessee, shooting whales out of the cars, a lot of bullets going every direction. So our ER was pretty crowded because we're only steps from the Tennessee River. So, all that extra gunfire. The emergency room couldn't keep up with all that.
Some guy was trying to shoot a whale out the window. Got me. He got me.
I still can't leave that law.
That's when it
got all
became
these
a
gunshot
law.
wounds from that's why it became a law. Their ERs couldn't afford all the gunshot wounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But we heard a lot of stories of actually the building being very active prior to it actually closing. Everything from the last baby was born in the mid 80s here, but the hospital kept going on for many, many years after that. And even after that, they said they still heard babies crying in the nursery. All sorts of different kind of weird experiences that were going on prior to the hospital closing down doors and opening and closing. We've got the opportunity to talk to some patients, and some of the patients had some really unique experiences at the hospital while it was open. So yeah, just a really, really storied location with a lot of paranormal activity even prior to it closing. One thing that I do want to get kind of straightened out is, and I try to do this on most of the podcasts I'm on, is if you do happen to Google South Pittsburg Hospital, there's a lot of hearsay and a lot of rumors about the hospital. So we'll kind of go backwards in time. Prior to the hospital actually being opened, it was just a community garden. There's some rumors that there was actually a facility on here that actually burned to the ground and children died. It is not true. I don't know where that came from or who started it. But yeah, there was never an orphanage or anything like that on the property. The property prior to the hospital being built was nothing more than a community garden. There was no wars on one of the other things too is that, there were Indians slaughtered on the grounds and there are these wars that were going on here. That's not the case either. Obviously the property was inhabited by Indians prior to, the hospital and prior to civilizing South Pittsburgh. I shouldn't say us, but South Pittsburgh being civilized, obviously. But there were trade routes because we're close to the Tennessee River. So there are a lot of trade routes that were in the area, but there were no so-called slaughters, or even the Civil War took place many, many miles away. So primarily what the hauntings really are here are past patients, as well as a lot of the healthcare officials that worked here. For some odd reason, this hospital had a really, really weird situation where a lot of our healthcare workers actually died of heart attacks. We had a nurse that passed away in one of the bathrooms with a heart attack. We had one of our doctors pass away as well of a heart attack, but that seems to be something that was really, really common in this location. So I don't know if that, contributes to the hauntings with that sudden death. But yeah, that's so we want to kind of dispel some of those old myths that, were going around prior to our ownership of the building.
Yeah. I mean, that I feel like you don't get that as common of not only is the patients dying in the hospitals, but staff, and that many, yeah,
a lot of
pretty
people,
odd.
healthcare has really changed over the years. I know that it's really neat being, owning a couple of hospitals. When we first bought the hospital, nobody really wanted to talk to us because the old management of the hospital were kind of creating all these stories to make it look really spooky and to get people to come and investigate. So it was hard for us to get the Historical Society to actually come and talk to us. Finally, about a year and a half after opening the hospital or owning the hospital, we started disbanding a lot of those myths and rumors, the Historical Society started talking to us, and then they started passing us on to doctors and nurses and patients who are still alive who had experiences here. And some of the stories they tell are just amazing. But healthcare in the old days, these people used to work 16, 17, 18-hour days. There were a couple of doctors here who actually had their quarters here. So they'd work a full day, take a nap, and then come back and work some more. So I think healthcare has kind of changed a little bit in terms of that. I mean, they still considerably work a lot, but in the old days, I mean, they were working, they never left. So, all that energy of those healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, and everybody, all the people who care, that all that energy is left in our building. I think that makes for what's a really unique haunting.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that on that situation when they go into these buildings or these hospitals, they always think of the patients and are the patients that were mistreated or that kind of and the death of the patients, and not really what healthcare workers went through back in the day. And we have found that out too we went to Glore Psychiatric Museum up in St. Joe, and they have a room dedicated just for the nurses. And they explained like what they had to clean the rooms, they had to sweep the stairs, they had to mop the floors. They were the janitors. They took care of the patients, and they cleaned and everything. And they were, like you said, they were there hours and hours on the day and stuff like that. And people just don't realize back, like you said, healthcare has changed dramatically since back then. So people don't realize how much the healthcare, these ladies and gentlemen were at these hospitals taking care of these patients for that long.
Right. Healthcare has definitely become more commercialized. Like you said, it's a good example. Whereas these big hospitals, they hire somebody to come in and, maintain everything and that kind of stuff. From my understanding from Old South Pittsburg and from Harriman Hospital, it wasn't uncommon for a doctor to change a light bulb. It wasn't uncommon for a nurse to, like you said, sanitize a room after a patient, was done using it. So, yeah, they put on many different hats, and a lot of them spent many, many, many hours in the hospital. And I think one of the things that's really neat about hospitals, it's the only building across the globe that, everything from birth to death happens and everything in between. So you've got so much different energy in this building from, a couple's happiest day of their life where their baby is born to a couple's worst day ever where they lose their baby, to medical complications or something like that.
Yeah.
So all that energy is just stuck in these walls. And I think a lot of that has to do with, the hauntings and that kind of thing that goes on in these locations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing too is that we just talked about that this weekend. Someone asked me, you're like, oh, what is the creepiest thing you do? Are you here or whatever? And I said, the children laughing or a baby crying or something like that in a building like that would just, that is so, I just got goosebumps just thinking about that.
I've heard of children laugh, and it was probably the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, you've experienced that you've heard, the children laugh and you didn't see none, going at the YWCA.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would say that the children laughing and, the baby crying would be just, that would just, I don't know. That's kind of
weird. Imagine that when the hospital is actually open, and you've got healthcare officials like on the third floor. Our nursery is on the third floor, but we have interviewed healthcare officials that the babies, there weren't any babies in the building at the time, and they would hear babies crying in the nursery. I mean, could you imagine being on a shift and here you are, walking past the nursery and you hear a baby crying, you kind of stop dead in your tracks, like, well, wait a minute here. And that was one of the biggest claims this hospital had. As a matter of fact, if anybody ever watched the Haunted Hospital show, the gentleman that witnessed that actually did a whole show on it. And he's been back a couple of times since then, and he tells some really cool stories about how the hospital was really active. It got him to the point where he didn't want to come back anymore, and he actually became a teacher because this hospital really freaked him out. And he would do stuff at night, and him and his buddy would walk through the hospital, and they'd see doors open and close on their own. And I mean, it was really neat to actually sit down and talk to him of all the experiences that he had while the hospital was open and he was working here. So imagine, afterwards, because you still got all that energy in the building, you still got our residents here, and they're still reaching out to us on a daily basis saying, hey, we're still here, pay attention to us. So really, really kind of a neat situation.
So I'm like the thing. So when you guys purchased the hospital, did somebody else own it before you guys did? Like, did they do stuff to it, or did you guys really have to do a lot of the cleanup and to fix it up?
So kind of prior to my ownership, the hospital closed in 1999. A few years after that, a Dr. Hayes actually purchased the hospital. He purchased it primarily because he was a hoarder and he needed a place to store his goods. He would go to like a store that would have like clearance sale and he'd buy everything out and then try to resell it. He then got into the point where he started collecting cars. So the hallways were actually full of cars. So he'd collect antique cars and classic cars. And eventually what happened was Dr. Hayes started running short on money. So he started selling stuff off. And then he had a gentleman, his name was Jim, who actually was the caretaker of the building. Jim lived on premises. And Jim realized that the building was extremely active and extremely haunted. So they put it out to the paranormal world. So the paranormal world started doing, investigations here. And they realized that the building was extremely active. And I think it went on for probably 5 or 6 years, prior to maybe even 8 years prior to me buying it. I know I came down here a couple of times because I really fell in love with the building from an investigating point of view. As a matter of fact, I had my full first body apparition sighting in this building. So it's very near and dear to my heart. But a lot of people ask that. When we bought the building, it was a disaster. I see that Barbie is here, and Barbie is one of the people who comes quite frequently from Night Song Paranormal. But she was here prior to she's a great lady. But she was here prior to my ownership as well too. Just to kind of give you guys kind of a roundabout number, we moved 100 tons of garbage out of the building. Wow. The average car is about 2 tons. So we basically moved about 50 tons of garbage out of the building. It was so bad that when people came in, they'd have to use the ER exit out back because the front of the building was so full of crap, literally, that you couldn't even kind of manipulate around the building. The old owners were pocketing all the money. They really weren't reinvesting in the building. So there were leaks everywhere, like the water was on and it was leaking everywhere. So instead of fixing it, they put buckets under a leak. They wouldn't fix the water. There was one toilet throughout the whole bathroom or throughout the whole building. We got a bunch of toilets back open up. So yeah, we did a lot of work in the building. I mean, when I say we have like 50 volunteers that are on staff that we all, work together to do what we needed to do. But yeah, we moved like 100 tons of garbage out, and that included like moldy walls. We had to abate some of the mold that was in here. I don't know if you guys have been here before, but when you walked into the building, you couldn't take a deep breath. It was like dangerous to be in here. And we abated all of that. We cleared it all out. We got down to the brickwork. We painted the brickwork. A lot of the people who haven't been to the hospital prior to our ownership or after our ownership or prior, we showed them pictures and like, oh my gosh, we were planting trees out front. I mean, we're really beautifying the building. And with that comes a lot of positive activity. When I had purchased that, when I was actually investigating the hospital prior to our ownership, it was a real negative building. It was it felt like death when you walked in the door. It was kind of a scary location in terms of just, I don't know how you describe it, but just real heavy feeling. Now you walk in and it's beautiful in here. Our residents seem to be really happy. The EVPs kind of went from negativity, get out, to more like come talk to us. So everything has really changed 360 and it's or 180, and it's just really a cool location. I know a lot of the people who hunted here prior to our ownership, we just had people who came back from like 9 years ago, and they were here a couple of weeks ago, and they walked in, they're like, I can't believe this is the same building. So the team and I have really put a lot of resources into the building and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it shows. I mean, the residents are happy. The experiences you have in the building are a lot better now. They're more regular. But yeah, it shows when you take care of a location, and you take it from almost being knocked down by the city, to actually caring about it and starting telling the truth, the positivity that you get out of the residents in the building. And we're really proud of that.
And that's what I was bringing to you, is like, if you bought it before, so there was ghost hunting before you purchased the building, because you get a lot of these people that buy these buildings and purchase these buildings, and they're like, oh, it was just like you said, trash and all that, but there wasn't ghost hunting beforehand and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see that, the negative, and then when you guys, doing a lot of stuff and bringing positive to the building and stuff, and now it's the energy is more lively and and more positive than it is negative, which is really cool, because sometimes they don't like you when you mess around with their buildings.
No.
I don't know. I've heard many stories of like, oh, we're trying to build a room, or and then they're stealing our tools, and and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something positive, I would think that they're like, hey, this is pretty good. We like this.
Right. I
Not
was
so
gonna
much
say,
trash laying around.
we didn't do anything negatively towards the building. Like we tried to keep everything intact as best we could. The primary things that we did is we took down, like in the old days, like we have everything's brick, everything's cedar or cinder block, but then they put a 1x2 up, and then they throw a piece of drywall up over the top of that with no insulation. So when you get the cinder block, it starts to sweat, and obviously mold starts to grow on the drywall. So we didn't do anything in terms of actually tearing the building down. We just got rid of, I guess, the cause of the mold. And in older buildings, like I said, it's really, really common because you go through, like you guys are in a hot, sweaty building right now. We're kind of the same way here as well. The buildings change throughout seasons, and when they're changing and you get that temperature fluctuation, that's when you get condensation on the walls, and that's when you get mold. And a lot of people don't know drywall is actually made out of sugar, and sugar is one of the leading causes of mold growth. So you get rid of that drywall, and you get rid of that mold.
Yeah. One, too, like talking to a lot of people, they're like that own haunted buildings. They're like, I don't know. Like a lot of times they're like, oh, they really like me. But we've talked to people who are like, I don't know. Like, I can't tell. And I'm always like, well, are your intentions good for the spirits in the building? Like, yeah. I'm like, then that's all spirits probably ever ask for, is just to take care of their home and accept them for who they are. And it sounds like you do exactly that. So not only do your guests, but like you said, the spirits that are there appreciate you so much because you guys do care about their home.
Right, absolutely. And I think it just goes back to me or you. I mean, if you're a true believer in the spirit world, and what we have, our residents here are people in death, you wouldn't want to live in a place that was all dismantled and mold growing on the walls. And you know what I mean? Our residents are taking pride in the location that they have in. I mean, will it ever look like it did the day it opened? Of course not. But, we keep moving forward every day by planting flowers and trees. And, we do stuff outside as well as inside to kind of keep that beauty going. And I know it's kind of disheartening because sometimes we'll get people who drive by and they're like, oh my God, you're making it too nice. It's like losing its creep factor. It actually looks like a hospital. And
you're like, I'll let the spirits do that part.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, Ron, you're getting away a little carried away. It's not going to be creepy looking anymore. It's just going to be look like a normal hospital. People will start coming thinking you reopened.
No,
with, whale gunshots.
There you go. You get them all nice and comfy and think they're okay, and then you hear the children and babies crying, and you're like, oh, I forgot.
Now, I know Andrew Nikki's on here, and I know Barbie's been there and stuff. Have you guys experienced any of the baby crying going on? I know Andrew Nicky was there Friday night. I don't know what floor she was up there investigating the most or not, but I know Barbie's been there numerous times. I know. I think you also have Paranormal Trio's been there multiple times too, I believe.
Yeah, we have a lot of regulars, which is really neat because I think what's really, really neat is I spend probably between the two hospitals about 100 hours a week cleaning, maintaining. I don't really do any ghost hunting anymore or paranormal investigating anymore, primarily because everything I do is working on the buildings. And what I found is that when I go out with the groups and I do investigating, they don't talk to me. Now, when I'm working on a building and I'm walking around doing things, they tap me on the shoulder, they whisper in my ear, I've got my leg grabbed. It seems like they're more interactive with me when I'm doing my job than when I'm actually investigating with them. So, I and not only that, I really don't have time. I put in 10, 12 hours, maybe 13 hours a day at both locations, cleaning and fixing and all that kind of stuff. So when it's time to investigate, you're kind of, you're like, oh,
don't want to have to deal with that no more.
The day's over.
You gotta have a lot of energy to investigate. So by the time you're done with your 13th hour, you're like, all right, I'm trying to go home. I guess we'll go home.
Right.
So what did they say, Maddie?
Let's see. You can go back. Jeannie said, hi guys.
Hey Jeannie.
Scared Cities Haya Nation Paranormal Horror Show said, what's up?
What's up? Yeah, I don't know if that's Santiago or if that's Scott. So hello to either one of you. Both of you.
Night Song Paranormal said, hello, friends. Barbie here. What's up, Ronnie?
We
Andrew
love
Nikki
Barbie.
said,
One of the sweetest.
"Oh yeah, we love them." Andrew Nikki said, "Can't wait to go to Harriman." Yep. Um, Andrew White said, "Scared to death." I guess you're talking about the.
Shooting
I'm
whales.
guessing. Yeah,
Shooting whales.
she was Wales. Andrew Nikki
Maybe
said
scared to death to go to
100.
on a ghost hunt.
I don't know. Andrew Nikki said 100 tons. Bless you all. Um, Carrie said hi. Night Song Barbie said babies and children laughing. So I'm guessing she's heard it too. And Andrew Nikki said I haven't, but the people I was with did. See,
Ah.
I
And then
yeah.
what night song said to you there?
She said, "Well, be at OHHH on Friday in OSSP, Old South Pittsburg
She'll be at
Hospital."
Harriman on Friday and Old South on Saturday. Is
A
that
lot
what
of
she's saying?
angels.
I know, right? Next Wednesday, haha, we'll try to visit as much as we can. We try to visit as much as we can.
Yeah. So they have. So Andrew Dickey
Yeah.
said they have experienced that the children
She has
crying and
not.
stuff.
People
But
did
she
that she
hasn't.
was with.
But yeah, she was there. They did a Friday night apparently. So
Right. But that's
Yeah.
a really good sign that the children are laughing and not crying. Because if
Yeah.
our resident children are laughing, that means they're having a good time. That
Yes.
means they're, you know what I'm saying? If they hear a lot of
Yes.
crying, then we got to reinvestigate how we're keeping our children residents here. But laughter and that kind of stuff is a good sign from our residents. That means our children are being well taken care of.
Yeah.
And then they have activities to do that's making them laugh. So, and that's something that I
Yeah.
think is really important to us, especially on the children end of it, is that when we have investigators come in, most of them have had interactions with our children, and they're always goofing around and laughing and that kind of a thing. So it's a real positive for them.
Yeah. It's really good. I just get creeped out.
So up by the nursery does I guess everybody's left toys and teddy bears and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And then we have in our ER, we have a little boy, and his name is Buddy, that we've identified in the building. And people have left him everything from dinosaurs to toys to baseballs to, I mean, he's got so much stuff to play with in the ER. Kind of makes me want to be a kid again.
Yeah. There you go. So I know a thing that we do. Go on, you can read it. You're good.
And Barbie said Ronnie does a good job making sure the content coming out of this locations are true to history. Paraprofessionalism is super important, and maintaining history is a must.
And I couldn't agree with that 100%
Yes.
more.
And Andrew Nikki said, "I love that, the perspective of the laughing children." Yes.
Yes. So a big thing we do when we're investigating a building is we always seem to tend, like when we're on the Phasma box or anything, that we always say, whoever we're at. So like if we're here at the Haunted Mansion, we're like, do you like what Nicole's doing with the building? Do you like what she does? And just to get their perspective of, do they like what's going on? And I don't think we've ever heard a no to anybody and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if as anybody that you know of that's talked to you and said, hey, we asked them what you've been doing with the building. And they said, thumbs up or anything like that.
I can tell kind of a really funny story that kind of happened when we first bought OSPH many years ago, going on 6 years now, I believe. We have, and we kind of brushed on it at the beginning. His name is Jim. He was the caretaker of the building. Jim also passed away on the building in his room of diabetic shock. He's a really storied guy, too much for the show, but basically as a child, he was beat up by his father, joined the army, then joined the Ringling Brothers Berlin Bay Circus, and then ended up retiring from them. And actually lived his last and final days here in the hospital. And there were a lot of rumors that were spread about Jim, everything from him being a pedophile to being gay. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I think they wanted to make him a villain. So you had some negativity in the building. And this was told to me quite many times because I've actually investigated this building prior to owning it probably 8 to 12 times, somewhere around there. And so the story was kind of told over and over again. So when I bought the building, the first thing I did want to do was kind of uncover Jim's life because I wasn't real sure how much I believed in it. And we had a lady who actually worked for me for quite some time, and she was a local person. And we're standing in the hallway, and it's just her and I. And we start talking about Jim, and I start talking about the rumors I heard. And the wildest thing, my hair used to be shoulder length. You know, it was kind of unprofessional back then, and whatever, and had shoulder length hair, and so I was standing there, and we're having this conversation, and all of a sudden, my head gets jerked back, and I mean hard. And I looked at the lady in front of me, and her eyes are wide open. And remember, it's just her and I in the building. And she looks at me, and she goes, "Holy shit, I saw that." And I'm like, "Saw what?" She says, "It was like somebody grabbed a lock of my hair and just yanked it back." And we were talking about Jim. And then I was like, it caught our attention. And I was like, oh, so we continued to talk a little bit more about Jim and about the rumors that I had heard. And it happened a second time where he yanked it really hard. And she was like, you know what? We got to stop talking about him because we must be agitating him. And I was like, okay, yeah, probably a good idea. So it was a couple of weeks later. There was a young lady. Her name was, oh my God, I always forget her name, Candace. And I went into the back room of where Jim, after Jim had passed away, they threw a bunch of his stuff in the back room. I mean, it was piled from floor to ceiling. And Candace and I found like all of his personal notes, his family tree, emails. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So we took it all. We went back to the hotel room, and I think we were up for about 36 hours straight going through all of his paperwork. And so the first thing we pick up is, I'm Jim, and gave his last name, and it was a dating website, and on it says, "I haven't found the woman of my dreams." So we're like, okay, well, we just debunked that one. He's not gay. And then we kind of kept going on through his life, and the more and more we researched him, the more and more we realized that everything that was told to us was a lie. Like, I mean, just a straight out awful lie. Yeah. So Candace and I actually came back to the building, and we sat in Jim's room. And we started talking to him like we're talking right now, and said, we know this, we know that, I've got this, I've got that, blah, 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 and all other stuff. And all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know if you ever had this experience, but the room just felt like it just lightened up. Like it literally just felt like like if you ever have a bad day and somebody solves your bad day and and the weight comes off your chest and you're like, you take a deep breath and you're like, wow, I feel so much better. Yeah, that's what this room felt like. It was like Candace and I were like, what? It was like, ah, like, you know what I mean? I don't know how you describe it, but it was just really different. So we've been fighting that battle with Jim and people who keep going on the internet and reading about him, and they keep bringing it back into the building. And the first thing we say is, no, that's not Jim. This is the truth. And ever since we have done that, Jim has been like a real positive experience in the hospital. Like we have groups who will come out, and Barbie will attest to this. But if you go into his room and you put a REM pod down and you put some classic music on, he'll actually do the REM pod to the beat of the music.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, and it happens constantly. He's been known to grab girls by the behind and kind of give them a little rub. And so he's like, it's like went from really aggressive Jim to like this kind, caring, nurturing Jim in the afterlife. And like I said, I know that Barbie's had a bunch of experiences with them, and it's really neat. But that's just one of those things that proves that, you know, even in the afterlife, they're paying attention. You know, they're listening. And when we're making up stories about things to like sell our buildings, it's really not helping us. It's hurting us. So if we continue to tell the truth and we get our historical accuracy right, they interact more with you. They want to be part of your life, and they want to tell the rest of their stories. And Jim is like a really prime example of that.
Yeah, that's they just want to be heard, and they like you said, it's like when you're alive, like you don't want rumors being spread around you, like about you, and you know they pay attention of when people come in and they're asking the same questions, like, oh, you know. Or, you know, they're saying, oh, like, he's gay. And he's just like, it's almost like they shut down immediately. Like, I'm not going to talk to you. You're telling lies. I'm not going to talk to you. So now that people are coming in and saying, like, you know, we know this about you, like, and the truth, he's like, okay, I'll sit down and I'll have a conversation with you. So that's amazing and there's not a lot of people that do that. And we've talked about it before on the show. Like, there's so many people out there that want that. I don't know if it's that creepy factor or just they want the bigger story, and they want to turn something that's beautiful of somebody's story, and they want to turn it into their own creepy, grab your attention type of thing. So,
well, it seems negativity sells a lot better than positivity.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes.
Yeah.
Can't be playing with my microphone now. Yeah, coming especially with buildings that people like seem to want to say, and that's a big thing to the whole like demon thing lately. What everybody, it's just that word has got me such in a tizzy with, oh, a demon here, a demon there, and I'm like, no, I mean, I've been to that place 4 times and I've never seen a demon there, or and stuff. And I think that the people love to give negative stuff about the building when they think that people are going to like it a lot more. When it's like, if it's positive and it's active because it's more positive, why would you want? I would rather do that because I want more footage of communication and interaction with the spirit than I do with just being a negative experience with a spirit.
Right.
So I mean, if it's all positive there and they're being positive, I'd want to experience that more than anything that over that.
Right.
And I think it comes with more the thing, like when we do the paranormal, it's because we want to know what's out there and we want to know what does happen after you pass away. Like that's the end goal, right? And I think it's for people, it started out that way, and now it's okay. What will make me get scared? What will make me, run out of a building? That's what they're looking for, and so that's when they start turning that story into that more dark.
Right. Well, I think you're right. I don't think anybody's going to really click on, I spent 10 hours in a dark room and this is what I got, versus I was possessed by a demon. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, even the Conjuring series, if you look at the Conjuring series, the last one was what? The devil got me or something. I mean, so even they're kind of shifting their gears, and they know, Hollywood is kind of what's making all of this possible, because everything has shifted into that demon thing. And I'll be honest with you, most people who are running around saying, oh, I was possessed by a demon, wouldn't really know what to do with a demon if it actually possessed them.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
That's true.
I've watched The Exorcist, and I'm telling you, I don't think most people have the capacity to actually, take care of a demon if that's what they were possessed by. But I think I kind of live by the terms, and I think you guys do the same thing too, is if you're an asshole in life, you're an asshole in death. You're not going to change.
That's what I tell everybody. I'm like, it's not necessarily demons, but maybe it's more of like a negative or a heavy energy. But then I tell people, if you're an asshole in life, you're going to be an asshole in the afterlife. So that's what you deal with, is that type of, you're dealing with an asshole.
Right.
And I think more people thinking, oh, it's a demon, they really call it that than, just an asshole.
Well, then not only that, but you're an asshole in life, but then throw in a bunch of rumors. You're gay, you're this, you're that. You're just compounding that person's assholeness into a whole nother level. So
they would be very negative about it. Yeah. I mean, they're like, well, if they're going to talk to me about this, let's, act like this.
Right.
Yeah. Right. When you start creating that manifestation of that darkness and that fake story.
Right.
You're giving it energy. But
I just find it funny because, like I said, we have a volunteer list of 50 at each location, and we spend hundreds of hours here every month. And, if there was a demon or something negative in the building, don't you think we'd be the first ones to figure that out?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of my volunteers would want to stick around if they saw somebody levitating and throwing up green pea soup while shooting whales out of their car windows. I'd be the first.
I'm going to live with that whale thing, man. That whale thing is going to be great.
I think that might be my favorite loss so far.
Up front. I mean, if there's a demon in this building, I'm gone. I'm going far away.
I would not be here.
No.
Next time I go to Tennessee, that's all I'm going to be telling people. I'm like, do you know there's a law that you can't shoot whales outside your car window? You're going to be looking at me all like, what's going on?
Oh, I can see him now pulling up in the car with the big whale gun hanging out of the.
Yeah. This isn't a gun. This is a whale gun.
This is a whale gun.
Well, when you pull over by a police officer, I wonder if you could use that while I'm whale hunting. So that's fun in the car.
Do you have to have a license for it?
Apparently, from the law I read, no. It says it's completely legal.
I want to go and get my whale hunting license.
Wait a minute. You said it's legal to shoot a whale?
Legal.
Yes, it's legal.
Oh, I thought you said illegal.
No,
that's why I was asking. That's why I was asking if there's a big population of whales, because it's illegal.
It says the only animal that is legal to shoot out of a moving car via the window is a whale.
Oh, I see. I missed that in the beginning. That even adds even more interesting thing to it.
Yeah, see, that's why we were like, what?
Well,
That's
could you
crazy.
imagine on Monday morning going down to the DNR and saying, "Hey, I want a whale shooting license"?
Yeah.
Oh my
Can I
God.
get a gun to shoot whales? That's the only thing I
And they're
can
gonna
shoot
look
out of
at
my
you, go,
car.
what? You're like, no, look.
You're gonna bring that law up and be like, yeah, I can shoot whales out of my car.
Yes.
So I
So
know everybody's waiting and everybody wants to know what is the most, let's say, creepiest or scariest story you have that you've experienced, whether you owned it or when you were first ghost hunting back before you owned it.
Well, I've got one good one in each location.
Okay.
go ahead.
So prior to the ownership of South Pittsburgh
Mhm.
Hospital, I was an investigator as well as everybody else. And kind of the reason why I wanted this building so bad is I had my first full body apparition in this building. It was, I believe it was a Saturday night. It was actually one of those nights where you go and absolutely nothing is happening. Like you're kind of getting to the point where you're, it's getting late in the morning and you just kind of start getting funky and you're like, kind of joking around. So we went up on the third floor and we put what do you call it, a cell phone on the nursery, and we had a baby crying. We just, figured, this was one of the rumors we heard, and so we'll give it a try. So we put the cell phone up there, and we have a baby crying, and I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes later, the gentleman and I who I was with all of a sudden caught kind of movement out of the corner of our eyes to our right. And lo and behold, we both, as plain as day, saw a nurse walk towards us. She stopped in front of me, gave me like this dirty look, and then kind of paused in front of my buddy. And then we heard the door open and she just disappeared. And that was the day I was like, holy cow, like never, we've had experiences in the building before, but nothing that was 100%, in your face haunted activity. And what was really neat is the group that I was with, we never told each other the experiences we had. We were one of those groups that I always believe that I don't want to tell you what I saw because I can influence what you saw. So what we used to do is we'd go downstairs and we'd either write kind of like a brief essay of what we saw or we would draw it. And so the guy I was with, actually now he's a graphic artist. So we went down to the break room and I was like, don't tell me, but, draw what you saw. So after about 30 seconds, I was done with my nurse stick figure. And about 35 minutes later, he's got this beautiful nurse with flowing blonde hair and her little hat. And we switched papers and he was like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, we saw the exact same nurse, the exact same time. I mean, we could both, describe her to the T. And it was neat. His name is Zach. And we were driving home from Tennessee. We did a couple of different locations. We were driving home. And on the way home, I called the owner and said, I want to buy the hospital. And she's like, I'm sorry, it's not for sale. I said, no, I want to buy the hospital. Well, I'm sorry, it's not for sale. So later, we actually ended up buying the hospital. But so I was telling Zach, I was like, hey, you want to go back? He's like, no, I'm done. Like, what do you mean you're done? He's like, I'm done. That scared the living heck out of me. I'm like, dude, you just saw the holy grail of ghost hunting. Like, that is what we come to do. And he was like, yeah, I totally believe in it now. My curiosity has been, what do you call it? He's like, I'm done. I'm like, totally done. And every once in a while, Zach and I will talk together and he's like, I can't believe you own that building. Didn't that building freak you out? And I'm like, Zach, that was the coolest thing ever. Like, I really want to have that experience again.
Yeah.
And, so that was just that. And I think that's what's neat about paranormal investigating is that when I was really involved in it, you start out with an EVP, you start out with these little kind of hints that there is, spirits. And then all of a sudden, boom, something like that gets dropped into your lap. And you're like, how do you deny that? I mean, how do you deny that? It would have been one thing if I was alone on the third floor and it was just me and, kind of dozing in and out of sleep because it was late in the morning or at night. So you could kind of pawn it off as like overactive imagination. But he was standing next to me. He saw and heard and felt the same exact thing I did. So, how do you get two sets of eyes that saw the identical thing and be able to dismiss that as your imagination? And so that, I think is what's really awesome about paranormal investigating is that you constantly are striving for that next experience. Right. And this building gave it to me. And that was the day that I was kind of a hobbyist in terms of paranormal investigating. We kind of do it joking around. You know what I mean? We did it to have fun. That was kind of the day that it all turned around on me. And I was like, wow, there's really a lot to this. I mean, this is this is great. This is really neat. And then you start getting into the questions, well, what's she still doing here? And it just kind of snowballs into like so much bigger, and then now I like the history of the building. And so it kind of all comes together. And I think that's what's really, really neat about paranormal investigating is there's so many different facets of it, from the history to the actual investigating to talking to people who were in this building prior to closing and the experiences they have, and then them backing it up. Like a really good example, one more, is that we had a public investigation. There was a group of us who all went over to the Cracker Barrel for breakfast after the public investigation. And so we're all in our OSPH shirts and we're all exhausted. We look like we probably just woke up from heck. And there's this dude who's like at the table next to us and he's staring at me. I mean, like staring at me. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to get arrested? Am I going to have holy water thrown at me? What's going to happen? So he gets up and he stands in front of me and he says, hey, I saw you in the newspaper. You're the guy who owns the hospital in South Pittsburgh. I said, yeah. He says, I'm Art. I'm the maintenance man that used to work there. Well, my mouth drops through the table because one of the old rumors was he died. He was dead. So so I'm sitting there and my staff is around me and my mouth is pretty much on the floor. He's like, are you okay? I said, no, you're dead. He's like, no, I'm not. I said, no, you're dead. That's the rumor. That's what everybody said. That was you were haunting the building. He says, well, I'm very much alive. So we talked for a little while and he wanted to come back to the building. So we were like, okay, cool. This will be great. So he comes back to the building. And of course, as investigators, we turn our voice recorders on and he's walking through the building and he walks into the lobby. And the first thing that happens is the elevator dings. Elevator doesn't have power, doesn't have service. It's been off since probably long before I bought the building. And he stops and he looks at me. He says, when did you turn the elevators back on? I said, Art, we didn't. He says, well, that's the elevator dinging. I'm like, come on, really? So as he's walking through the building, he's telling us stories of patients that have passed away, of nurses that have passed away, doctors that have passed away, and his experiences in the building. We're running our voice recorders, blah, blah, blah. So all of a sudden we start hearing disembodied voices like throughout the building. Some of them were, he's back. Hey, Art. Like all of it was wild. It was like the building came alive. So what's really, really freaky is after we're doing the walkthrough and he's kind of pointing things out, how things have changed, we sit on the front porch and we play back the voice recorder. And Art's like, oh my God, I know that voice. That's Nurse Betty. He's actually listening to the voice recorder and recognizing voices of people who worked in this building. And we all, yes, it was like, whoa. We all stepped back and we were like, either he's really good at lying or holy cow, like we just got some really cool paranormal evidence. So it was kind of neat. So afterwards, we have this big banner and we put like all the celebrities who have come to the hospital and they sign it. Mm-hmm. So I asked Art, because in my opinion, Art's probably one of the biggest celebrities because he kept the building healthy and going when it was here. So we had him sign it. He puts Art Ross, not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
And I've had the opportunity to talk to him, because every once in a while we'll get an investigating team that'll come in and the really, really cool evidence, names and kind of deaths of what happened. So I'll call him and say, hey, does this person ring a bell? Does this situation ring a bell? And he'll be like, oh yeah. And he'll like actually go on and tell us more about the situation that we brought in, up during an investigation. So it's really kind of neat to have somebody like that on our team when we need them. But it was neat because he was a gentleman who came to the hospital as a child. He had medical care here, fell in love with the building, just hung around here after school, and eventually became the maintenance guy for the whole building. So it was kind of neat how things kind of went along, in the old days that he was such an integral part of the hospital. Now he's actually doing a clinic in Alabama. So really kind of a neat situation. But that just goes to show once again how, coming to the hospital, we heard all these rumors of deaths and all that other stuff. And then you're in a Cracker Barrel eating and the dead guy says, hi, how you doing?
And a Cracker Barrel too.
I thought Rob was going to say for a second that the guy was like, hey, you're dead. He's like, no, I'm not dead. I'm like, Ron, did anybody else see this guy at the time?
Yeah. Was anybody else there?
Yeah, was anybody else see Art there?
I'm not dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
no, maybe it was going to be, I thought the story was leading that it was a ghost that came to talk to you and stuff, but
no,
yeah,
he was supposed to be dead. And it was just really neat.
That just goes to show you like the different rumors. And I know I've talked to some building owners and stuff, and they're like, well, we don't like a lot of paranormal. We don't like to, because so many people want to bring in the wrong story of what's going on and not the right story of what's going on. And like you said, that the rumors were that Art was dead, and the stuff about Jim, and that's his name, right? I got the name right. Yeah,
Yes.
Jim. Okay. Yeah. So, and that's the thing, is a lot of people like, don't talk about my history. Let me tell you the history, because people want to bring in the wrong history of what's going on. And that's a big thing, like here in St. Louis with the Limp Mansion. There's so many people that fight about what the history of the Limp family was going through, what they went through, and it's just like, oh no, this didn't happen. We talked to these people and stuff like that. And people get so frustrated, or just like, I don't want, I only want one company to come in and like do our ghost hunts or something like that. So that way they have the right history, and then it's, and said like that.
Well, it's unfortunate too, because it's a real black eye for the community. Like a hospital like this, it's a small community, so everybody knew everybody. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, everybody. So when I start running around, or somebody starts running around and they start telling, myths about things that were going on there, so you're hurting somebody's like past. And a lot of people really took a lot of pleasure. It was a lot of pride and pleasure in terms of what they did. And when you're making myths and you're making up stories about those people, I mean, you're hurting a lot of people. And that's the part that really bothers me is, you've got a very historic location, whether it's your location or our location, and you don't want that history being, mistold. I don't want my history when I die of people telling, my history is bad. And I don't think anybody wants that case either. And, somebody's related to these people and somebody's out there listening, and we just don't want that person to be offended or upset because we're giving misinformation.
Yeah. Well,
okay. Go on.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Okay. So since you were a paranormal or are a paranormal investigator, but now you got a lot of things on your plate. This is one of our favorite questions. This is one of my favorite questions to ask. But what is your bucket list in the United States and outside the United States of one place that you would love to investigate? And this is all expenses covered.
Are you guys taking me?
Yes, Haunted Souls would take you. Yes.
Yeah.
We would pay for your trip. Where would you go?
We would. That's the key word, is would.
Would.
Well, I'd really like to go overseas to a lot of the old castles. I don't have anyone in particular, but I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, the architecture. You're talking about, they were built with some really crude tools, but once again, they're generational castles. So they're historically awesome. So I think, to me, like, just take me overseas and we'll go to a bunch of historic, like Scotland would be really cool, because I know a lot of our friends are going to Scotland. But I'd really like to do something overseas. I think that would be really neat. The only problem I have with that is do they really speak our language? How do you?
Wow, I didn't think about that. That'd be tough to investigate.
Growing up, we watched that guy on TV who would go to Mexico, or he went to Italy and all of their stuff, and he's speaking English and is getting EVPs back in English. Well, does that really work?
Yeah, I never thought about that. Good thing, right? There you go.
So I don't know. I don't know if you'd be able to communicate with them or not. And I don't know. I mean, that was just something that always puzzled me, because, you'd watch these TV shows, and we know a lot of them aren't necessarily on the up and up, but you would still watch them. And they, like I said, they were in Pavona, Italy, and he's doing his EVPs and he's getting English sentences back. And you're standing there going, well, wait a minute here. That's not their language.
Yeah.
How are they understanding our line of questioning?
Yeah.
So we have to take a translator with us.
Yeah. Well, nowadays you've got the phone that'll translate anything you want. Like,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Well, and too, like back then, like nowadays, a lot of foreign countries do speak English, but back then they didn't. So if you're talking somebody from the 1800s, how are you, like, that doesn't, I don't know how that would work.
Right. But I think what's really cool is not only the hauntings that are over there, but the architecture. I mean, more and more you own buildings, and I know you guys do this. Come on, you're going to lie to me if you don't, but you're driving down the road and you see an old building. The first thing you say to yourself, I wonder if it's haunted. I mean, that's not right.
Guilty. I am guilty of
Any
that.
any creepy building that's even abandoned or got wooded up walls or windows or stuff, you're like, I wonder if that's haunted.
I
It
don't,
doesn't even have to be a big building. It's a
Nope.
house. I'm like, oh, that has to be haunted.
I don't care where I am or where I'm driving to. I'll be driving down the road and you see that one house that's sitting in the middle of all these brand new houses.
Uh-huh.
It was built in the early 1900s, and you're looking at it going, really like to get in there to investigate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's a point in fact. This weekend we were in Kimswick, which is a small town here in Missouri, and they closed the town off, and they have a big festival for the Strawberry Festival. And I was told that the one building that has no walls and has no roof right now, but because the storm blew the roof off, but and it has a tunnel that leads from down into the basement and out to the Mississippi River, and that's where they would bring the slaves from the river off the boats, and I guess they would sell them there and stuff. So it's like, I want to investigate. It's just, it don't have no walls and it has no roof, but the energy around there still has to be,
Oh, holy crap.
crazy, just in that area. So it just, the smallest of the building could be, but much of my big thing was the castle. So where would you go in the United States? Where's one place that you really want to go that you haven't?
Probably the Winchester House. I haven't had the opportunity to go there. I think that would be kind of a neat location to go to.
Yeah.
I think it's got a lot of history. I think it'd be kind of neat because, the way the building was designed, stairs leading nowhere and all that good stuff. I think it would be neat to see. And once again, we're going back to the architectural side of it. I really kind of like that. I think that would be on my bucket list to go do.
Oh, yeah.
I think that lady was just crazy. I do. I think she was just she kept, I just want stairs here. Or what? I mean,
well, and too, like, if your husband passes away and you got trauma and heartache and you're not sleeping and you're trying to deal with it, and who knows, maybe you wanted to believe that there was something else out there, that your husband was not just completely gone.
Right.
I heard they don't like a lot of paranormal investigators coming in that place.
It even goes back to, though, she owned Winchester guns. So is it possible that if spirits can travel, that there are a lot of spirits out there who feel like, you know what, you're to blame for my death, so I'm going to come and I'm going to haunt your ass.
Yeah, that was a thing that I read on that the whole family was cursed because of that, of the rifles and the guns of the Winchesters, that the spirits would come back.
Right.
And blame them for their deaths because they they own those guns and stuff like that.
Right.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's true, but it'd be really neat to investigate it to see if you could get an answer or two.
Yeah.
That would be. My new question is I think you already said this, but what is the most funniest moment that you've had with the paranormal at the building?
Oh, funny? In terms of interaction with a spirit, or just funny in terms of me being a dork?
Just anyway, what's the most funniest thing that's happened at the building that you? Someone asked me. No, everybody always asks you what's the creepiest thing that ever happens.
Yeah.
And we were at a convention, and someone said, "I know everybody asks you what's your scariest and what's your creepiest, but what is your funniest thing that's ever happened to you?" I'm like, that is a good question. I'm like, I've never, So now I add that question on. What is your most funniest interaction, or what's the most funniest thing that's happened to you?
I would say it's probably not paranormal because we're constantly fixing everything, but we had a toilet at O that wasn't working properly, and so I don't remember if I was putting it together or taking it apart, but basically I think I went to turn the valve back on and it wasn't connected, and it looked like something out of a movie where the water was just, and everybody was behind me laughing at me, but the water shooting out of the wall, and it looked like a Bugs Bunny moment where I'm going like this to try and get the water to stop instead of just turning the valve off. I'm like, so, but there's water everywhere. The staff's laughing at me, and I want to say it was like right before we had a public investigation. So you're rushing to get stuff done, and the toilet broke, but there's just water flying everywhere. Rhonda's screaming at me, and everybody. It was one of those things. So we really wanted to film. We want to film us fixing the buildings because unfortunately, a lot of the stuff we do ends up falling off ladders, or, we do so many stupid, funny things when you're trying to plant stuff, or when you're trying to fix stuff or plant stuff or whatever. I think it'd be kind of funny to carry a camera around when we're actually doing stuff like that. Because I've made
Just strap a GoPro to your chest.
Yeah. Well, like a good example is we laid a new floor at O as well too, and we stepped back and we're looking at how pretty it is, and then we realized it did this. Like, how you're supposed to straight grout line. Well, we kind of did a little bit of this. I mean, it wasn't that exaggerated, but then we're like all prideful, and I think somebody walks up and they're like, "What happened to your floor?" And we're like, "What do you mean?" Well, nothing's straight. So of course we had to rip it up, fix it, move it around a little bit more, and get it back. But yeah, so we do a lot of stupid things like that. And the thing is with these old buildings, a lot of stuff is just trial and error, because the ways that things have changed, over the years, you've got to really kind of like manipulate things around. Like all these buildings all have cast iron piping. Nobody uses that anymore. It's all PVC. So when we have a leak, we're cutting cast iron and we're putting, plumbing to it. And every once in a while, you don't tighten a bolt right away, and you turn the water back on and there's water going everywhere. And so, yeah, it's kind of funny all the way around.
Oh man.
So how can people get a hold of you, Ron, to come and investigate your building?
So if you want to come to a hold of us, you can do of two different ways. You can go on Facebook and you can do Haunted Old South Pittsburg Hospital, or you can go Old Historic Harriman Hospital. Either one of those, we're on Facebook. If you're on the internet, you can go osphprc.com, and that's for South Pittsburg Hospital, or you can go oldhistorichairmanhospital.com, and you can get a hold of us either way. Our phone numbers are on there, so if you want to make a booking, you're more than welcome to give us a call, text us, email us, send an airplane overhead saying, I want to book the hospital. However you want to get a hold of us, we're here.
Now, do you let people do events in your place?
We do. So it's kind of a long story, but we do in-house events. So we have a couple of in-house teams. One of them is Fearful Encounter. And then we got a new team that just started with us that we do all of our in-house events. Kind of the longest start of it, when we first got started here, we had, and I won't name anybody or anything like that, but we had a event company that came and they ran some events for us, and it was just kind of a nightmare. I am a very particular person, and I like things done in this very specific way, and so we over the years have really kind of really perfected our public investigations. To the point where they run real smooth and that kind of a thing. So primarily we do work with a couple of event companies, but most of the events we do are put on by ourselves for a bunch of different reasons. One of them is, like I said, we've got Fearful Encounter here, which is an in-house team, and they're just a dynamite group of people. So they investigate really well. And then we have a group of people over at O who do it as well too. So but yeah, I'm here every weekend pretty much. So when we have a public event, you can come say hi to me, come say hi to the staff, but we have a really good time.
That's cute.
Right now, just for June, July, and August, if anybody is got nothing to do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we actually have half off weekday investigations. OSPH is $325 plus tax from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And that's on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And Harriman Hospital, I think, is on sale right now for $450. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, plus taxes, and that's from 7 to 3 as well too. And you can bring up to 8 people. So we're really trying to get some of the smaller groups into our location so they can come out and investigate, because our normal rates are $850 and $650 at both locations, so they're half off. So if you have the opportunity and you want to take a couple of days off during the week, come on down to Tennessee. It's beautiful down here, and do some investigating.
Yeah, everybody go out and investigate. We have to make it that way. I think we're going to do a group thing, a collab with Barbie and another paranormal team that's in Tennessee that we've been wanting to get together with. A night song and stuff. So we've been looking for a place. So we were in Nashville 3 weeks ago.
And you didn't come down. You're only an hour and 45 minutes from me. You should have came down.
We did. We actually did the Lots House in Franklin. And which was really good because it was our first battlefield that we ever did, and it was amazing. The energy there and stuff was just crazy. With the whole, shadows running everywhere in the city. We were sitting on the front porch and just saw shadows running down the fence lines and behind cars, and it was really weird.
Very beautiful location.
But we have to make it down to see come down.
I'm excited to hear the story.
I hear about Old South and Harriman all the time, so we'll definitely have to make our way down that way.
Love to have you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on, Ron, and thank you.
Yes, thank
And everybody
you,
can
thank
find you on
you.
Facebook. Are you guys on Facebook and your webpage?
Web. Yep. Either or.
Facebook Web.
Okay,
Yep.
and we do greatly thank you for coming on
Yes,
your
thank
Tuesday
you
night
so
for
much.
us.
It's a pleasure. And remember, you can shoot whales through your car now.
Yeah,
There you
you can,
go.
in Tennessee, you can shoot a
Hey,
whale through the car.
if you see on the news that there's a whale dead in Tennessee,
You got it.
Ron
never
probably
saw
shot it
us.
through the window. Thank you, Ron,
Yes,
for coming
thank you so
on. We
much.
greatly
Have a
appreciate it.
great evening.
You too.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
great. We can go whale hunting in Tennessee.
We can go whale hunting in Tennessee. Okay, did you? I just want to. Did you hear that?
Did I hear what?
There was a woman talking.
Was that outside or
No,
was that?
that was in here.
Okay, I did hear it, but I didn't know.
And
Did
then
you see me lift my headphone off my
we
head?
both did at the same time. I both went like this, and then you put yours back on.
Oh, you know what that is? That's the feeder.
You think
That's
so?
the cat feeder. Yeah,
Dang it!
that's the
Oh
cat
my
feeder. So there's a feeder here, and I know we talked about it last week, but there's a cat feeder here, and it's got a female voice on it that says, "Here, kitty, 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 kitties." And when it dispenses food, I believe that's
Oh
what
my
that was,
gosh.
Maddie. I know. I
Well,
heard
if
it
we
too, and
hear
he
it,
saw me lift my.
we both did.
We
I
gotta
went
get.
like
She don't
this.
know how to get the voice off there.
Yeah, because that creeped me
Yeah,
out.
we gotta get
Well,
that. It creeps me
what
out every
time was
time I
it?
hear
What
it.
time was it? It was about like 8 o'clock. So once it hits 8 o'clock, we hear something, then we just gotta check the time.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah, we thank Ron for coming on. Ron going all the way
yeah,
off, didn't he? He's like, I'm out of here.
he's like,
That's
yeah,
really cool. I mean,
yeah.
I've heard a lot about old South Pittsburgh and the whole baby
Mhm.
crying and stuff. And it was funny that Andrew, Nikki, and them were going there this weekend, and I was like, oh, like we're having Ron on Tuesday. Too bad it wasn't,
Yeah,
a week
the
before,
week
and they
before,
would have known some stuff. So I
man.
got the hiccups.
I've heard of children laugh, and when you hear like the creepy, like if you look up creepy children laughter, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a creepy It's
Is it?
creepy. It is. It's really creepy. And then you hear them run up behind you. That's even creepier. I will have to say that. But yeah, no, that was really fun. We'll have to. Oh, ding.
Hit your
We'll have to.
microphone.
We'll have to go back to Tennessee and visit Ronnie and see Old Pittsburg Hospital and
Our Harriman Hospital.
yeah, we
So
we
this
just
week,
are like,
everybody was. This past weekend was Strawberry Festival.
yeah.
We did a vending
You did.
at the
You and Mom did.
fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
I helped set up.
Stacy came and helped. Yeah, Maddie set up, and then Stacy came the next day and changed everything around.
Don't even get me started on that. Oh my gosh. I helped set up, and I'm trying to set because we did everything different. Not everything different, but we kind of did our setup a little bit.
We have some new displays. So
yeah, well, we did a lot compared to Witches Night Out. Like we have our own little separate, like we had like a little checkout table almost, and we're setting up like our flyer for MSP, and then there's our business cards, and then there's Kenny's stuff like from kitchen, Kim's with Kitchen and Bath. Like we're trying to like promote their stuff too while you're setting up there, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm setting everything up. And it's me and my mom trying to do it at the same time. So she keeps putting stuff like by my hand. I keep putting stuff by her hand. And we're like fighting with it. And she goes, it's fine. You're not going to be here tomorrow. I'll just change it all. I'm like, woman. So.
But anyway, we had a thing up. I'm going to go ahead and do this so we don't forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
So we had our new followers. If you liked our Facebook and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you got to put in for a drawing for 2 event tickets. We're going to draw a name and do that. But you still have to be subscribed if you're not subscribed, because a lot of people, first night I checked it and we had 447 or whatever like that, 450. And then the next morning we were down to 446. So, 4 people unsubscribed, thinking that, so I'm going to pull a name. And if you're not subscribed, then you won't win. We'll have to go to somebody else.
Yeah. Now don't go and just subscribe now.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's as many as I got on here, and I think there's 10 people on right now. So I don't think all these people are watching to see if they win or not.
Andrew Nikki said, I'm going to unsubscribe and subscribe real quick.
All right, let me draw one here. I don't know what I want. Enter Nikki and them. Everybody that's on here now has a chance to win a couple of things. We're gonna go through.
Hold on. Santiago
What?
said hiya.
What's up, Santi?
What's up?
Yes, I sold out your hats this weekend, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely need to talk. All right, let's see. Winner is, of course, giving me something to look at when I can. I need a light. Drum roll. And the winner is Jeff Stufflebean.
Congrats, Jeff Stufflebean.
Do you want to type it on the bottom, Maddie?
Type it on the bottom. Oh, I don't have my keyboard.
Oh, Jeff Stuffle, Stufflebean.
There you go. Congratulations.
Jeff Stufflebean. Congratulations. You won 2 tickets to a future event.
We need that soundboard.
We need a soundboard. Like, yay. We're getting one. Yeah. So
let's add it to the many chords we have over here.
Yes. So I will draw a name. I will look to see if Jeff is still subscribing when we get done. And if Jeff is not, then we will move to the next week. We'll draw another name. But yeah, it was great.
Said, hey, I think I know him.
You know him? A Jeff Stufflebean?
Jeff Stufflebean.
Oh, hey, maybe you do.
Santiago said, let's go, Jeff.
Let's go, Jeff. Jeff.
Mom said, gets you every time. Damn dispenser.
Yeah.
Talking about the cat dispenser.
All the cars racing up and down the street over here.
So, yeah. So that was.
We have Jeff's number. We'll send Jeff a text message to say,
yeah,
we should do it right now. Be like, hey, Jeff. We can do it live. Should we do it live? Okay. Let's call Jeff live.
No. Okay. I was joking about it, but yeah. Okay.
Why not? Let's call Jeff and tell him.
Because maybe he doesn't want to be on a podcast.
Well, too bad. He won.
Oh, well. Okay.
Let's see if I can get this number right. Let's put him on. Hey, be like, hey, Jeff. All right. Let's see here. Why not? This is great.
Make sure he's subscribed first.
Well, you'll have to check to see that.
Well, I can't. Well, then don't tell him he won if he's not subscribed.
You're making everything difficult.
No, I'm not. But we just said if he's not subscribed, then he doesn't deserve it.
Well, I don't know if I can check that and see exactly. Let's see.
Anyways,
you talk to the crowd.
What am I going to talk about?
Well, if you would have been at Strawberry Festival, you would have known.
Oh, sorry. I was. We've already discussed why I wasn't there. I was having a softball tournament. For your information. But yeah, no.
Pull up a subscriber share.
Yeah, I got to see Kenny and
go on.
Yeah,
all right,
Kenny
we won't do it live because I have to look and see.
Yeah,
Maddie's at a loss for words because she wasn't there. So the weekend was really good. So
I was about to talk to, but that's okay. Go ahead.
That's all right. I got you. It's okay.
No, I was actually going to start talking, but that's okay. Go ahead.
What was you going to talk about?
Go ahead. We'll talk about Strawberry Festival.
Oh, I was trying to figure out. So Saturday was good. It was a good day. Kind of rained a little bit, but other than that, it was good. We had a lot of people. We're trying to get people to come in to the building. I heard a lot of, oh my God, so much negativity about, oh, paranormal, kids, don't touch nothing. You'll bring something home. And I'm like, there's nothing here haunted but that one doll.
Just the one doll.
Here, hold this kid, hold this doll for me, you know.
Demon,
it's just
demon.
Yeah, demon, nightmare. But yeah, it was. This one lady was like, "Oh no, I can't go in there," and I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Oh, it's paranormal." I'm like, "There's nothing in here." I said, "We sell T-shirts and candles and sprays and soaps and pins and backpacks and stuffed animals and Care Bears." I didn't tell her they had skulls in them. But and she's like, oh, and she started walking upstairs. I was like, oh no, you don't have to come in. You already judged us.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
well, I need some AC. I was like, you could sit on the ledge here. I was like, Kitty's like, did you just really say that to the lady? I was like, yeah, I was done. I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like that. It was Sunday and I was tired and I was done. And just,
Well, how, like, I get it. It might not be your cup of tea, but how can you sit there and somebody who's worked hard for what they are, why they're there, they've paid money for you to come there, and like they sit there and they're like, well, I can't do, like, that's just rude. Like,
well,
you
and it
don't
was
go into
funny
a
too.
you don't go into a shop. You won't walk into somebody who sells candles and go, your candles smell bad.
Well, and
So
then that was the thing too, was that they would walk in, they're like, wait a minute, I'm confused. Is this a cabinet place or is this a haunted souls?
I'm a little
And then we
confused.
started telling everybody, we're like, hey, if your cabinets creak, they're haunted. And this guy right here can fix them, and pointing to Kenny.
There you go. There you go. Good
And
business.
stuff. But yeah, it was, oh my God, it was so. And then you had the people like that had the kids that want to touch everything. So I made some of the people know, and I don't have a picture of it, and I'll bring one next week. But I make custom REM pods now that are white skull heads, and they have colored eyes. And the kids were like picking them up, and like the parents don't tell their kids never to touch anything.
Mhm.
So they were like, the heads were coming off, and I had to put the heads back on. So I turned one on and left it on. So now every kid that reached over to touch it, it would like beep, 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 and the eyes would light up, and it scared the shit out of them.
Like, don't touch it.
It was funny. Me and your mom, I was laughing so much. I was like, every
I
time someone
bet.
went to reach for a pendulum too, it would go off. It would scare them.
Don't
I
touch
was
it.
like, I was so like, I was like over that. I was just like, it was so funny. They're like, what is that? And I was like, had to tell them. But the story I got to tell is so we go around and we talk to people, other vendors, and we talk about being the sponsor and, coming on our show and advertising,
Mhm.
doing a little segment for them. So 3 years ago, when I first went to the Strawberry Festival, I had bought pineapple jalapeno jelly. And I've been looking for pineapple jalapeno jelly. And then I
Mhm.
bought a little jar because the lady had a sample jar,
Mhm.
and I loved it. Tastes awesome. It was great.
Mhm.
Well, last year went back, searched the whole festival, and she wasn't there.
Mhm.
So I did find a guy that had great beard oil. I did buy some of his oil. It's
Mhm.
and everything. So this year I was looking for him. I couldn't find him. And I was like, hey, are you a beard guy? Are you going to be there? And he's like, yeah, we're right there by the pavilion. So I was
Hmm.
going out looking for the beard guy. And
Yeah.
as I was passing jelly places, I'd stop and ask. Well, I stopped and asked this lady, I said, hey, do you have pineapple jalapeno? And she
Yeah.
said, no, but we have pineapple upside down cake jelly. And I was like,
Oh.
excuse me?
Sorry.
I'm like, that's
What?
my favorite cake next to gooey butter cake. Excuse me? Did I say that? Did I hear that right?
You're fucked up.
Yeah. And she's like, would you like a try? I'm like, well, yeah, huh?
I'm not gonna
And
turn that
so
down.
what was really cool is that they had those tongue depressors, right? And they
Yeah.
like opened the one in and they would like give it to you. And I was like, looking at him like, there's no jelly on there. She's like, no, you got to take it and scoop out your own jelly.
You thought
Well,
you were gonna get princess
well,
treatment.
no. Well, I thought maybe they scooped it themselves because some guy could go in
Yeah.
there and like scoop up half the jar on their
Yeah.
tongue depressor,
You're like,
And
oh,
so I
there's no
took a
jelly on
little
that.
bit, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm so I love this. I'm gonna get this
Yeah.
jar. And then Susan, if she's still on here, she did me a great favor. I forgot to bring business cards with us. We ran out of business cards the first day, and like we only had like 3 left, and I forgot to bring the box with us. I thought it was in the tote with the table stuff, and
Mhm.
it wasn't. So Susan went by the house and picked up a box of cards. She called me and she said she wasn't gonna come. Her stomach, she wasn't gonna stay. So I had to walk all the way to the front. Well, thank God I was by the jelly lady, which was by the front. And so I went and got the cards from her, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be back. I'll have to buy some jelly. I'll be back."
Yeah.
So I went there, and as I was walking back, I ran into the beard guy, and I bought some beard oil and butter and shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, he got me for all that. we exchanged hats and everything, and so they want me possibly do a commercial for that flavor of beard oil for them with haunted souls and everything. So
There
that's
you
gonna be kind of
go.
cool.
Nice. Look at you promoting beard
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, come on, I have a badass beard. I mean, come on. But anyway, I went
Okay.
back to the deli people
Okay.
and I was like, "I'll take your jar of pineapple upside down." And she's like, "Well, did you try our pina colada?" I'm like, "You're killing me, Smalls." I was like, "Let me taste
She
it."
knows how to sell.
I know, and I was like, "Oh my god! All right, I'll take both jars." And I didn't realize one was 15, one was 10. I was like, "That's pretty pricey for 2 jars of I could buy a
Yeah.
whole meal."
But you did put it on a toast, and you don't need a lot though.
No, but
No.
the thing of it is that I told her that we do, sponsorships for
Mm-hmm.
small things, for people. And I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'd like to have your business on because, you're a small business. It's an entrepreneur." Shout out to Santiago. He does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Promote small, businesses and entrepreneurs. And we
Yeah.
like to, pay it forward.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, that would be so really nice. Thank you very much." She's like, "Hey, will you please come back before the fair ends and I'll give you a little sample of our
Mhm.
jellies." So I was like, "Okay, no problem." So me and Kenny walked up there. I was like, "Hey, Kenny, want to walk for me?" He's like, "Yeah." So the fair was winding down. It was 4 o'clock and people start,
Yeah.
winding down. So I go up there and she's like, "Oh yeah, hold on." She goes, "I didn't get that ready for you. Hold on 1 second." She like throws a box up on the table and starts putting 1 jar of every jelly she's selling in a box.
Full
And
jar.
I'm like, "Full jar. The jars that I just bought." I have a box. Let me tell you, people, I have a box of jelly, 10 jars of jelly in my house.
And guess what? We're gonna try every single one of them.
Yes, I am going to give away jelly. If you like jelly, let me know. But I have to taste it because that's part of the thing is that I'm going to have to taste it because she wants us to taste every one to make sure we give, proper. But I'm going to tell you right now, I
Yes.
put the pineapple upside down cake and I
Mhm.
put the pina colada on 2 pieces of toast last night.
Mhm.
And hands down, those are
Yeah.
one of my favorite jellies right now.
Yeah.
Um, they were really good. I was like, man. And then the lady the spiel she was given was, you can put them in graham crackers, you can scoop it with graham crackers
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever, or put it on pancakes or ice cream,
Ooh.
because it's not like really like Gillette Net jelly. It's more of
Yeah.
a liquidized jelly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
I tasted
really
it.
good.
The flavors that you had given me are definitely more of your flavors, but they were like they tasted just like a pina colada and all that stuff.
The pineapple upside down. I mean, they have like strawberry vanilla bean. They have
Which
peach
I'm excited for
cobbler,
that one.
apple pie. They have strawberry rhubarb. They have a something pecan. I'm not sure. And stuff. So they have all kinds of jellies. 10 of them, 10
10
jars.
jellies.
And then she was like, "Did you see the other side of my business card?" I was like, "No." And she's like, "We rescue dogs and stuff and train them to be service animals." And I
Mm.
said, "I'm only looking for a full-blooded German Shepherd. Is my next pup."
Yeah.
Because I want to take it ghost hunting. I want it to be a ghost hunting dog with us, and
I
I think
just
that
want
would
a
be really
puppy.
cool. Yeah, she just wants a puppy.
I just want a puppy.
So she said, "Does it have to be a full-blooded German Shepherd?" And I said, "No." I said, "Well, what do you have?"
Yeah, depends.
And she's like, "We have Northern Inuit dogs, which are German Shepherd and Husky mixed, and they're like the dogs. If you guys watch Game of Thrones, Ghost, you know, Jon Snow's dog Ghost, and Thor and Odin, the other kids' dogs, those were all Northern Inuit dogs, and
Mhm.
they were breeded for. I was looking them up today, and they were breeded. The German Shepherds and Huskies were put together to make the dogs look like dire wolves. So they're big,
Mm,
and the father's head is like huge.
huge.
Yeah. So
I don't think anybody's gonna mess with us if they see that dog in our house.
No, 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 no. So we might be getting a pup. HSP might
You
be
might
getting a
be
pup.
getting a pup.
Yeah, so
Aw.
I'm supposed to meet up with her when we go September 21st.
Yeah,
She's gonna
I'm
bring
super
the daddy and the
excited.
mommy and
Yeah,
stuff, so we can kind of see. So
I'm excited.
yeah, so and that if you want a box of jelly,
Yeah, or
let us
adopt a
know.
pup,
Adopt a pup, yeah.
or adopt a pup if you're in need of a service
We
animal.
will next week we will advertise the jelly and her products, and also talk about her pups and her
And her pup
rescue and
does.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
But other than that, it went pretty good.
Aunt
Food wise,
Amelita,
I only do
Aunt
what?
Amelita. I said Aunt Amelita and Kathy looking for another pup.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier today about that and stuff. We were looking for Viking or Irish warrior names, female warrior names.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think
So
that'd fit the dog
yes.
perfectly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. I'll be selling the REM pods. If anybody's interested, I can customize the eyes for you. They could be red, blue, green, yellow, orange, pink.
Did you find pink lights?
Yes, and purple.
Yay!
Pink and purple,
I
yellow,
can put it.
orange, red,
I
green.
can.
Yes. So
Hey, when you make my
or
REM pod,
white.
I can put it up here.
Yeah. So those are all custom made. You can just get in touch with me and let me know what eyes you want
Yeah.
and stuff. And what's cool about them is it has a skull, and the antenna bends down long ways, so that way it can
Easier to
store
pack.
and
Yeah.
you don't break off your antenna and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then my next thing is making Boo Bears out of Raggedy Anns
That'd be fun.
and stuff. And some guys I'm talking with a guy about making portal boxes. So I am going in the direction of making equipment right now. So
Yeah, I think,
gotta think.
and at the end of the day, I think like yes, like pendulums are cool, like all the stuff that we sell now are cool, but that's not like our end goal with this thing. Our end goal is to be like selling equipment and doing like the full thing of the paranormal of REM pods, just all different types of equipment, and also like not making it so expensive where people are breaking the bank because we understand of how much it is to have these and want these things in the paranormal, but they're just so expensive. So I'm
Yes. That didn't sound very well. Would the cat go back that way?
the cat just fell off the chair.
So another new thing that we're going to be selling is, I know it's been always a thing for me, but
Mhm.
these are death whistles that someone made for me. I don't know, can you see that?
Ooh.
Can you see that,
Yeah.
Madison?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to turn my mic because it could be loud, but let you hear it. Okay. That was
Did
loud.
everyone hear it?
Everybody hear that?
The
That's a death whistle.
skedattered.
The cat's cadet. Oh, maybe that's what it is. It's a cat deterrent.
And they're all looking down the hallway.
There you go. I'm calling all the spirits up to the floor. But then,
Right.
yes. So
What is a
we'll be
death
selling
whistle?
those too.
I
So
want
a
to look
death
up like
whistle.
the definition.
Well, look up the definition of a death whistle.
Yeah.
I know it's an old ancient thing. I thought it was
Uh-huh.
to call spirits or to. Wow, she's looking that up. Yeah. So, if
All
you
right.
guys,
Hold on.
while we're doing that real quick, while she's looking it up, if you want a chance to win a scrying mirror and a cup, we're giving away each one tonight. We were supposed to give up the t-shirt for 500 followers,
Yeah.
but we didn't get to 500. We're 22 away.
Yeah.
But if you want, just go in and put in winner in the chat, and then we'll put you into the spin wheel, and you can have a chance to win something.
So it says The Aztec death whistle is a small ceramic whistle with a skull-shaped decoration with the used ancient Mexico for ceremonial and religious purposes. The whistle is made of kiln-fired clay in 2 chambers that create air cavities that resonate with the top of the skull is blown into. The result is a harsh, raspy, intonal sound. And some say it's similar to a dying breath or screeching zombie. The whistle is thought to have been molded after a human larynx to mimic the sounds of agonizing screams and wails.
There you go. You can buy them here, and they
Holy
come in different
cow.
colors too. So you can buy them in that brown color, black, teal. I'll have them in all kinds of colors and
So,
stuff, but they'll be at the Paracon, at Troy Taylor's
yeah.
Paracon, American Hauntings, along with
It
our new
also,
REM pods.
it also says that it says we are not entirely sure certain what the whistles are used for, which is probably more of a tribe thing. It says they may have been used as an imitation tactic in war. Huh.
The thing does
Huh.
definitely squeal, man.
Yeah. But like the fact that they
Maddie
made
blew
it like
when we picked it up, and Maddie blew it in the Jeep. I was like, "Whoa!"
the fact that they made it like as a dying breath, creepy.
That is creepy.
All
Look,
right,
my
guys,
light
we're gonna give
actually
you
is a
like
green
one more minute. What on your what?
on my microphone. It's actually green. It's staying green.
Look at
But yeah, we'll
you.
have those. If you guys want a death whistle, let me know.
I'll give you one more minute.
Those are kind of cool. They will be at Troy Taylor's, and they will also be at, shout out to Scared City Paranormal Horror Fest 2 in Paragould, Arkansas. We will be there July 11th, 12th, and 13th. Also with Santiago Cirillo will be there, and Scott with Scared City 2. We have her name is I can't think of her name now. I should have got this on there, but I will have it on there. She's an Michael Jackson impersonator. I saw some videos of her on there, and she also does dolls. She does those Ouija towels, like paints their face and stuff. It's really cool. I'll have to get information, and I'll get some slides up there too, to promote the thing. And we need to start putting like our Paracon slides and stuff up there.
Yeah.
And stuff for where we're going in different locations. And then
Yeah.
June 29th, tickets are still on sale for Ray County Museum in Missouri, right outside Kansas City. Come on out. It's an awesome place. It's a really cool place. Yeah. All right, so you have to tell me who the names are on the winners here. They said winner is what they get the name. Who's the first one?
Let's see. Andrew.
Okay.
CYN.
Okay.
Andrew Nikki.
It's funny that when I type in AAN, her name comes up on my spell check.
Carrie.
Okay.
That is it so far.
That's it. One more minute, everybody.
One more minute. If you guys want to enter to win, which one are we doing first?
We'll do the cup first.
Enter to win a cup. This is what you're entering. So say.
Do you want to hit some other? Was there any other?
Yeah, there was some more. Yeah,
I can comments up there. You want to hit?
Yeah. Let's see. Andrew said, "Wait, that doll was haunted." Yeah, the one in the case was.
The one in the case was, yes.
Mal said Dan is the beard guy. Yep.
Yes. Oh, and I didn't tell you. Shout out to Bella Apothecary. You guys can go on and finish her. We'll be doing stuff. She has made her first line of beard oils.
Yeah.
And that I get exclusively to try out.
Nice.
There's 3 different flavors. One is a woodsy type
Mhm.
I can't think of the name of what it was. And the second one was called Relic, which is a another flavor. And then she has Dan's Blend. That's what she named it. Dan's Blend, which is like a Beetlejuice citrusy kind of smell.
Nice.
So those are being sent to me. So yeah,
Nice.
so we're gonna have
So you're doing these promotions and everything. If anyone needs to promote something, let me know.
yeah, I mean I was like she's like, we just want your feedback.
Yeah.
We'll probably be selling Bella's beard line
Yeah.
at our on our table, and it all goes to she's 14, 15-year-old girl that has her own business. She makes perfumes. I know Jeannie out here and Susan, I think, have both bought her perfume. She has roll-on
Yeah.
perfumes and
Mhm.
other things, and senses and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, she's a really cool little girl. She comes to a lot of our investigations and stuff. So yeah, she said she was gonna do. I was like, you need to do a beard line. She's like, I'll do one just for you. So yeah,
CYN said, "Who won the challenge?" Oh, I think he's who was it? Jeff
Jeff Stufflebean. Jeff Stufflebean won for
Jeff
2 tickets to
Stufflebean.
the event. Yes, that was Jeff Stufflebean.
Andrew Nikki said, "I want one." I think she's talking about the REM pods.
Or the Death Whistle.
Pancho Zorch says, "Blow it again, see if my dog reacts."
Okay, hold on.
Pancho also said winner.
All right, I'll turn my microphone.
Yeah. All right. Pancho said winner. Pancho.
My microphone on.
Poncho.
Poncho. I'm just gonna put Poncho.
Andrew Nikki said, "Okay, I'm out. The death whistle sounds like Tiffany Ann's Bigfoot impression."
She's out with the Bigfoot with the death whistle. She don't want the
Yeah.
death whistle, or she want the REM pod. All right, is that it?
Hold
Is that
on.
it on the winners?
Hold on. Give me a moment. Nicole said, "Love the candles behind Mo." Thank you.
Hey, look who it is. It's Nicole. This is
Let's
Nicole.
see.
Hello. Everybody say hi to
Mal
Nicole.
said winner. Hi, Nicole. She's
Uh-oh.
the owner of this building that we are currently
She's the
in.
owner of this building. Thank you, Nicole, for letting us be here.
Yes.
I put winner instead of Mal.
Mal. Nicole said winner too.
Nicole said winner. Really? She's got a Nicole. That cow. Okay. Anybody else?
See, Carrie Lemons said winner. It was a different Carrie before.
Oh, that was a different. Okay, so
yeah. Just put
we'll
Carrie L and we'll know who it is.
Carrie L. I thought that was okay. So we got that. Anybody else?
Nicole said, "Oh my gosh, I need some for my husband."
What, death whistle?
Sandy said, "Hi, Dan."
Hello, Sandy. I work with Sandy at the Elks Lodge. Last week I didn't get to say hi to her.
Hi, Sandy.
She's there every day. She's a volunteer.
Nice.
She's there. Thank you for the pizza last night too. It was really good. Thanks for the snack.
Yeah. Nicole said, "Do I need to warn my neighbors?"
Really? In this neighborhood, you gotta warn your neighbors over that death whistle?
So I think she's probably meaning like her own home. Nicole says, I still don't have a shirt."
Well, that's because you haven't told me what size.
This is for a cup, but we're gonna be giving away other things.
Nicole will get a shirt. Trust me.
Nicole's gonna get a shirt.
Just tell me what size you are.
Mal said, "Winner is close to Mal." That's it so far. So we are gonna currently.
All right, we're gonna do this. So we're not gonna wait any longer. All right, we're gonna do the cup first.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna spin the wheel. And there you go. Everybody can see the wheel. I don't know if everybody can see it.
Nope, you cannot.
All right, and the winner is CYN is the winner.
Hey, woo! Nice.
All right. See, while you're in, you'll have to get a hold of me through our messenger on our Facebook page.
Mhm.
You'll have to message me and give me your address, or if you're local, I can meet up with you. You know, whatever's easier for that.
I said no way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we
Alrighty.
will remove you from the second. Sorry. Yes. So anybody else? This is going to be for a scrying mirror. Does anybody want to be removed for the scrying mirror? Just let me know. Just let me know if you want to be still staying in for the scrying mirror.
Yep. Do, 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 do,
Do,
do,
do,
do.
do.
Do, 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 do.
So anyway, our upcoming events, like I said, Paracon. I did sell Santiago's hats and didn't realize the couple of people that bought the hats. I told them that it was for Haya Nation. Santiago is a custom. He makes these custom himself. He paints them, and then like as soon as I said that he was on The Walking Dead and he autographed them, they didn't even care. They didn't even listen to me no more. They just picked them up. And they're like, "I want this hat."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay."
Here you go.
So I told Madison that we needed to get a picture of Santiago. If you're still listening, I need the picture that you sent me that you autographed for us, but I don't need you to autograph it again. Just the picture of you standing next to Rick and Daryl and all them at the prison, so I can put those by the hats, because apparently Walking Dead fanatics would love just to buy your hat with your autograph on the bottom. So this time I told him I needed 5 hats, and then I wanted 3 to be our podcast logo, because the skull ones do really well.
Yeah.
And then 2, I want him just to make his own custom art. It don't have to be our podcast. It don't have to be our logo. I want him to make just his own special hat that we can sell. Just his custom.
Yeah.
And Santi, just to let you know, I don't know if you're on here or not, but we do put them. I have a special display that I have a black light that shines on the hats and stuff for him, because they are black light hats and they glow in the dark. So I do put the black light on them and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah. All right. Let's spin the wheel.
Everybody's on there.
Yep.
No one's moving. All right. This is for the scrying mirror, and we'll spin the wheel. Here we go. It's spinning. It's spinning and spinning, and the winner is.
Oh man, you didn't time that right.
Nicole's got one. Nicole, you have a mirror already.
Oh, there she said, we don't use the one in the basement without supervision.
No, that's not the mirror I'm talking about. I gave you a scrying mirror, did I not?
She says, I got the one you made me.
Yeah, that's the one we're giving away. Do you need another one?
Do you need another one, Nicole? Or would you pass it on? Are you going to pass it on to the next? Whichever one. You're staying in those. You'll stay in the wheel if you pass it on.
It was funny too, because I thought it was going to be Mal.
She literally just said, I'm scared of mirrors.
You don't need a mirror. Well, I'm going to hurt you.
She said we should put a blacklight Curo cabinet in the library. We need to use the one in the lobby. No, I'm good, thanks. Okay, re-spin the wheel.
All right, we're re-spinning it here again. We took her off there.
No, don't take her out, because we're gonna give what else are we giving away?
It was destined. Mal, you won the mirror. It was, and it says Mal right there on the thing. Mal, you were destined to win that mirror, because it was on your name the whole time. It was moving slow until it like really moved off. So Mal, you win the mirror.
Yay!
And stuff.
Woo, yay!
So that's our giveaways. So CUIN wins the cup, and
I said respin.
She don't want the mirror?
She don't want the mirror.
Oh man. I think I got rid of it.
Did you really?
Yep, I got rid of it. All right. Well, anyway, we'll give away it next week.
Yeah.
We'll give it away next week.
Gotta
So
tune in for
next
next
week's
week,
guest,
guys.
everybody. Next week you got to listen. It's going to be my favorite episode. Why is it going to be my favorite episode, Madison?
Because we have the lady who has investigated your bucket list, Alcatraz.
Yeah, Andrew
Yeah.
Nikki's friend
Yeah.
has investigated secretly Alcatraz, and she's going to come on and talk about her experiences at Alcatraz, which I'm so excited. And everything, and then she's another place too that she's going to talk about. Sorry,
You can, it's like ASMR, dude. You're like, I can hear you just chomping away over there.
sorry, I won't chomp.
No, you're good. I was just saying it's funny because you're like
Crazy that my
ASMR.
soda was frozen when you took it out of the icebox, and now it's
All right.
hot as could be. But yes, that's our guest next week is the lady
Yeah.
that investigated Alcatraz
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So she'll be on, and then we'll give away a scrying mirror at the beginning, so that way everybody that's on there can, you know. And if you
Yeah.
don't want to win it, Mal, don't put your name in.
Mal said,
What did Nicole say?
that's not coming in my. Nicole said, Alcatraz is so interesting. I want to know about the native history and if they are still there. Hey, that's another. Hey, Nicole, you should hop on next week and ask that question because I'll put it up. And
But there's
have her-
natives on that island.
Yeah, she said, I want to know if the native history about the native history. Apparently, there's native history about it. We'll have to ask her.
Didn't know that.
Mal said, in my defense, I wasn't paying it fully attention.
Oh, okay.
Sandy
Okay,
said
Mal.
that place is so cool. But yeah, no, thank you for everyone who
Thanks for our newest subscriber, CYN.
Yeah.
I believe also
Pancho.
Andrew and Pancho.
Yeah.
Hopefully you
thank
guys
you.
were from, I guess CYN was from the Strawberry Festival. So was Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Thank
But
you.
thank you guys very much for coming on. And tell your friends, come on for our lovely
Yeah. This is what we do every week. We just sit here and
Yes.
chill and talk about paranormal.
2 weeks we have American Hauntings Paranormal Paracon. You guys
Mhm.
can come out and see us, take pictures,
Yeah.
whatever. We're not that popular,
No.
but yeah, come on out and talk to us. We'll be there. We'll
Yeah.
have the death whistles, and we will have the new REM pods. If you want a
Yeah.
REM pod for sale, just get a hold of me,
Yeah.
and you'll pick your color, your eyes, and that,
Pink.
and then
Pink.
we'll do the June 29th event at Ray County Museum, and in July we will be at.
Carrie said, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Carrie said, where is Paracon?
The Paracon is in Godfrey, Alton, Illinois, at Lewis and Clark Community College.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-day event. You have to
Mhm.
buy tickets in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're still available, but they do sell out, just to let you know. So I would get on there and look and see where it is. Let's see if they have tickets left.
You're welcome.
There's going to be a lot of great speakers. They do raffles of tons of haunted and creepy stuff they give away.
I wonder what they're going to have this year.
Apparently, they're supposed to have more. Troy Taylor's supposed to have a really lot more this year.
I wonder if that little boy painting's back.
Dude, I've seen so many articles and so many like TikTok things about that painting. Like people have that painting and stuff. I'm like, I never knew what that painting was until last year with that Paracon.
And I was 2 numbers off from getting that
we would
picture.
have had that painting. We were going to hang it here in Nicole's building.
Hey, she's
You can
already
hang it
had
over
it.
the mantle.
Hey, she's already had that burning body back there.
Yeah. But yeah, then we have in July, we have our lovely Scared City Paranormal Horror Festival. Come on out and see Santiago. We have a wrestling Haya Nation Mania wrestling thing on Friday.
Nation.
And stuff. And then don't forget, September 21st, tickets still available. Please, if you want to experience a great place to investigate, come spend the time with me, Maddie, Andrew, Nikki, Abby, Lauren, Gina, They're all coming out to help and work. We'll be at the Missouri State Penitentiary September 21st. Tickets are available. You will not. That place does not disappoint. Yes.
Nope. And I want to know how much activity has been jacked up since that new building popped up.
Yeah. Well, they just had Abby just was there this weekend. They had a bunch of haunted things from Warren's the Warren's museum.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
man.
But with that, everybody, come see us.
Yeah. Thank you for jumping on. Hopefully see you guys next week.
Thank you.
You guys
come visit us next week. You heard it from here. Stay spooky, everybody.